Welcome to Islam Under Scrutiny, a series of short interviews with Dr. Daniel Shayesteh. My name is Bob Johnston. Thanks for joining us. Our topic today is Muhammad, the self-serving leader. At times when reading through the Quran, it seems that it says what Muhammad wants it to say for his own purposes. It suggests that Muhammad's religion was self-serving. It is good to have Dr. Daniel Shayesteh with me again this morning to answer some questions about this perception of Muhammad being a self-serving leader. Daniel was at one stage of his life a fundamentalist Muslim, but now he is a convinced Christian. In his youth, Daniel could recite the whole Quran. Today, he loves to read the Bible, which has shown him a more excellent way than Islam to live in this life. Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Bob. Good morning.
Good to have you with us. Daniel, the Quran says that each Muslim man can have a maximum of 4 wives. But did Muhammad apply this limit to his own life? And if not, why not?
No, he didn't. He had 12 legal wives in Medina and 14 short-term marriages in different times. So this is in stark contrast with the limit of 4 maximum wives of the Quran. So he did not follow the Quran. I believe that deep in his heart, he didn't believe the Quran was from the true God, and he was a self-appointed prophet to just serve his own carnal desires.
Yeah. But apart from his wives, did he take other women for his sexual pleasure as well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sex slaves, both Quran and Islamic resources prove to us how chaotic his life was in the last 10 years of his mission as the Prophet of Islam. Quran chapter 4, says that men can take sex slaves and sleep with them. And our Quran chapter 66 verses 1 to 5 actually reveal in particular that Muhammad slept with his sex slave. In those 5 verses, Quran reveals that Muhammad had promised to his wives not to take any of his sex slave and sleep with them in his wife's personal bed, but he breaks the oath, and in his wife's absence, and he takes one of his slaves there, and she had gone, actually the wife had gone to see her parent, but unexpectedly she returned back home early, and finds Muhammad with one of their slaves in her bed, and she screams, she complains, and the voice was spread everywhere. And then Muhammad discovers that his betrayal was known by everybody. And then he immediately gets from his secret supporter, Allah, help, to solve the problem. And he revealed the verses that it was Allah who permitted me to use my sex slave in your bed. And Allah threatens actually wives with divorce and says to them that if you do not stop complaining, I would divorce you and replace you with better wives for Muhammad. So you see, this chapter in itself is not only confirming that Muhammad had sex slave, but where he used them too.
Yes. So what does this tell us about Muhammad's personal values when it comes to his sexual self-discipline?
Oh, he didn't have really any discipline concerning his sexual desires. He was the most powerful man, the toughest man as a state man in Islam. And so he was, continually trying to open the, doors to his sexual motives and legitimize them. I just give you an example from the Quran. Chapter 33 says that he fell in love with his own daughter-in-law, the wife of his adopted son, but he was just trying to find a way to reveal it, because this one was one of those practices never exercised among Arabs. And so he was finding a way to reveal it. And this chapter actually helps him. He brings verses, and the chapter says that Muhammad is not the father of any Muslim, but his wives are the mothers of Muslim. This meant that no Muslim could marry any of his wives, even they were divorced. But Muhammad had the right to take the wife of any Muslim, because he was not called the father. So you see how skillfully he was trying really to open the door for himself to serve his own carnal desires.
Very manipulative, isn't it? Now, coming to the girl Aisha, she was only about 7 when she was betrothed to Muhammad, and only 9 when Muhammad consummated that relationship sexually. Now, even allowing for cultural norms of Arabian culture at that time, surely this would not have been regarded as acceptable behaviour. And if I'm right about that, what does that tell us about Muhammad's personal morality?
Oh boy, I mean, Muhammad's life was not in harmony with the heart of the true God. And he was, always trying to please himself. And his religion is mainly to please, men's carnal desire. Quran really belittles women, and especially, those who have the position of wife for Muslim men. Quran in chapter 2, verse 228 says, men have a degree of advantage over women. And for that reason, they can even beat their wives. Quran chapter 4, verse 34, and chapter 38 in verse 44 say that men have the right to beat their wives. And Quran actually chapter 4 in verse 15 goes further and says men can lock their wives in a room for immorality until they die. But the same chapter gives unlimited right to Muslim men to sleep with sex slaves and doesn't call that immorality. I mean, you see that Muhammad is just trying to create advantages for himself and for his following men over women. Why he is doing that? His reasoning is that ladies lack intelligence. And for this reason, the Quran chapter 53 in verse 2 calls Muhammad the owners of his wives, because they are not fully humankind. They are, they're your possessed beings, and you have to deal with them like an animal in any way you want. So all this is saying to us that Muhammad was a leader just to serve his own motives.
Wow. Thank you so much for those insights. They certainly are very challenging, not just for Muslims, but for us as well, in recognizing God's perfect standards. If you want to ask questions about Dr. Daniel's responses, please place them in the comments section below the YouTube video. We will select questions from here from time to time for our Q&A program on this same YouTube. If you found this interview helpful, please take the time to press the like button below and subscribe to this channel. Please tune in for future interviews, and thanks for joining us. If you would like to consider more of Dr. Daniel's insights, please visit the playlist page of the Daniel Shayesteh YouTube channel, and/or visit the Exodus from Darkness website at exodusfromdarkness.org. Thanks.